how to get your life figured out, how to get your life sorted out, how to get to the place that you want to go. That's what we're going to talk about today. But you already know what time it is, and if you don't, it's validation time. I start every video by inhaling the validation that you send my way. Please send said validation by subscribing to the YouTube channel. Hit the little notification bell so that you can get brand new videos the second they come out. All other platforms, please like, comment, subscribe, love, share my content with your people. I baited and switched you a little bit. The premise of the video was supposed to be how to have your life figured out. In reality, my answer to the question, how to have your life figured out, is to never have your life figured out. I got this idea from an article I wrote called The Myth That Keeps You Mentally Imprisoned. And the myth that keeps you mentally imprisoned, the myth that keeps you locked up in chains. Actually, play a little game. Pause the video right now. See if you can guess the myth. I actually did another video where I had this little concept where if you guessed it, I'd give you a special shout out. Nobody won that one, but maybe someone will win this one. So what is the myth that keeps you mentally imprisoned? Even if you get kind of close to what I'm trying to get at, I'll give you the bonus points, okay? All right, the myth that keeps you mentally imprisoned is the idea of finality. The idea that one day you're going to get to rest. The idea that if you check off all of these boxes and milestones, that you will feel accomplished and you'll get to take your foot off of the gas and you'll just get to kind of relax. And there's this weird idea that that's even a good thing. I read a book called The Way of the Superior Man, which is actually a good book for anyone to read. And one of the chapters talks about the fact that you should never seek finality. You should never look for a moment where you have things figured out. You should never look for a moment where you get to lay back and chill. Because A, it's not ever going to come. And it's not going to come the way that you think it's going to come. And B, it's not really something worth aiming for at all. But everyone seems to be in a rush to be done. It's like we're tired of living. You go to college, you can't wait to be done with college. Then you go to your career, you can't wait till you hit that perfect milestone where you have certainty and security. You can't wait till you get to the C-suite. You can't wait till you get tenure. You can't wait till you get this level where you get to stop trying hard. And I also used an example in the blog post that is very common, kind of very easy for me to pick on, but it is a good kind of microcosm for this idea of wanting to be done, wanting things to be finalized, wanting to check out, right? So I was going out for some drinks with some friends, old college friends, and I was talking to a couple who's in that group. They are engaged to be married. And we were driving down to the bar. We were talking about, I was like, talking about how did you guys meet? How did how's the engagement plans going? This, and that. And the way that they both described it the same way. And I don't know if it was the liquor talking or whatever, but the liquor tends to reveal the truth. And they both more or less said that they got together because they were tired of dating. They both readily admitted that they were tired of having to play the game that often comes with dating. You go on a bunch of dates. Sometimes they like you. Sometimes they don't like you. When are you going to text me back? When am I going to text you? When am I going to call? You go on a bunch of dates to find the right person. Then you have a short relationship and it doesn't work. And you have a long relationship and it doesn't work. And you're just kind of sifting through. And, dating can be kind of messy and chaotic. But you would think that you would look at getting married as the beginning of a new journey where you are building a life together. And granted, don't get me wrong, there are people who do look at it that way. But the way that this couple looked at it and the way that a lot of couples end up is that they kind of just say, all right, get in my late 20s, early 30s. guess I should settle down. Let me look to the left, look to the right. Oh, you're right next to me. All right, let's check out of life together. And this is kind of what people do. And people are looking for ways to check out of life in so many different avenues. It's in relationships. It is in their careers. It is in their growth. People don't want to continue learning. They want to feel like they have all of the answers. You're just seeking and craving this comfort and security so much. But then what does it do? It turns into a prison. Now, let me preface this by saying there's always some nitpicker. Well, I have this counterexample, where it worked out. I get that. There are counterexamples to what I'm talking about. But I'm using these examples in this theme to illustrate what I mean. So take the example of a marriage. A lot of people get into a marriage and they check out. There's a little honeymoon phase, and then after that, a lot of marriages end up sexless. A lot of marriages end up where they're just going through the motions. People stop dating each other, right? So it's not that the act of marriage is what causes you to get into that mental space where you're checked out, but it's that you stopped dating each other. You stopped thinking that you'd have to improve yourself for your partner. You stopped being on your toes. It's like everyone is just waiting to get into the situation where they could just like fall back and be lazy and just like be in this codependent nonsense of a relationship. Same thing happens when you get through your career. You're tired of going to school. You've been going to school since you were in kindergarten. Go to college, which is nothing more really than anxiety-inducing, arbitrarily comparing, arbitrary grading system, nonsense, barely passable level of education that you kind of just have to do to get a job. So then you go through all of that, and then you got to go to the job, then you do the entry level, and then you got to rise up the ranks, and it's kind of like, oh, maybe I don't really like this career, but I've been doing it for like 3 to 5 years. Like, should I give all that up? Like, let me just settle into that groove even more. Let me continue just settling into groove. And then people get into these grooves. And once you get into the groove, you are in prison. Sometimes I sit back and I'm like, maybe you're being hyperbolic about this. Like maybe I'm being hyperbolic about self-improvement in general, where I think everyone needs to be going on this grand and daring adventure, where I think people should be never kind of in a loveless marriage with life, but always constantly dating and playing and, having a tit for tat with life. That's what I think gives life its flavor, but we're all so much in this rush for certainty and finality that we get what we want, right? Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. We all grow up and we struggle with our identities, and we look for people to lead us. We look for people to tell us what to do. We look for people to tell us who we are. And like the famous quote from one of my favorite authors, Robert Greene, says, society wants to assign you a role. And the minute you accept that role, you are doomed. Society readily wants to assign you a role. And the minute you accept that role, you are doomed. But so many of us are so afraid of uncertainty. We so want to, quote unquote, look like we have our life figured out so we can impress these peers and colleagues and our dumb neighbors who we really don't care about, but simultaneously extremely care about their opinions. We do all of this, follow all of these societal scripts, and then you get what you want. You got your role. Are you happy? You so desperately needed some identity to cling to, so you followed the path society laid out for you, and congratulations, you have a role now. Are you the star? Are you the star role? Or are you extra number 3? Or are you a stage prop? You got your role. And now you have to decide whether or not that's the role you want to play. And when I was writing the article, I got some kickback where people were saying, well, Ayo, you don't understand. You're still young, you're still impressionable, you're still idealistic. And they say that like it's a bad thing. Oh, Ayo, just wait, man. Just wait. That idealism will fade right away. It's like each year my waist size will get a little bigger, and then like my idealism will shrink each year. Like, what? Don't, just wait, Ayo. Just wait. Just wait. All your dreams are gonna fall away. Like, this is really the attitude that people have. And there was people commenting like, you want to have safety and security. They're like, Ayo, you know, I get what you're saying, but you do want to get to a place where you have safety and security and you can kind of lay back. Like, it's too tiring and stressful to always be challenging yourself and, you know, trying to level up and always being uncertain. Like, you need some certainty. It's like, duh, I get that. I live in the same place every day. I pay rent. I want a stable place to live. I don't want to bounce around from Airbnbs to every day. I want to be in a long-term relationship. I don't want to be going musical chairs dating for my whole life. But they totally missed the point. The point is that regardless of your situation, you want to have that active playing with life. There are people who are married, but they are still cultivating their love. There are people who are in careers, but they are still cultivating their careers. They are trying new positions that are a little bit at the edge of their comfort zone and capabilities. They're taking extracurricular time to read materials and learn and do some professional development around their industry. It's not what you do or how long you do it, it's how you go about doing it. So people want to throw all these comments and rationalizations at me, and really what I'm hearing is, Ayo, I want to check out. Don't make me feel bad for checking out. Don't unearth the truth that is buried in the recesses of my mind that I try to shove down every day as I cram coffee driving to work, gripping the steering wheel. Don't remind me of that, Ayo. At least that's the way that I feel. Again, maybe I'm being dramatic. I had a lot of coffee this morning. Had a good meditation session this morning, so I'm feeling real clear and philosophical and esoteric and everything like that. The way I look at my life is, of course, you want a certain sense of stability. There are things that I do that are stable. Like, I don't bounce from idea, to career, to partner, to situation, but it's kind of like I'm building up some core pillars of my life, and then I start new things. So, like, I started by saying that you, quote unquote, don't want to have your life figured out, and that just means you want to explore things. Like, there are things that I have figured out. I've figured out relatively well how to be a writer and how to continue to earn money and build audience as a writer. So, like, that pillar is still set. But then I'm still challenging myself to become a better writer, putting out new books each year, putting out a new blog post every day. So I'm still leveling up, but then that core pillar is stable. Now we have the video pillar. I'm doing these videos right now. I'm doing talking head videos. Next, I'm gonna start traveling and I'm gonna do some vlogging videos. In the future, I might want to make a movie, do a documentary. So I'm always just playing and exploring, and I'm gonna start doing public speaking this year and going to give talks and do all these other things. So I have a lot of interests that are like within a relatively narrow band of activities. I'm not jumping from place to place, but I don't see the need to ever rest on my laurels. I want to be maxed out and tapped out when I'm done. I want to leave this earth kicking and screaming, fighting and clawing. I don't ever. My idea of a nightmare is sitting on a beach with people serving me pina coladas, sitting on a hammock, doing nothing. That's my idea of hell. And for many, it's their idea of heaven on earth because it's too scary to do the other thing, right? It's too scary to do the real thing, the challenging thing. And I'll admit, sometimes it is kind of annoying. It is kind of annoying to be on my toes all the time. It is kind of annoying to worry about whether one of my income streams will shut off overnight and dramatically change my life. It is a little bit annoying to have like infinite numbers of emails and little projects and open loops and tasks that dominate my mind where sometimes I can't sleep because I'm thinking so much. It's a little bit annoying to like constantly be traveling, going, taking courses, attending seminars, leveling up, like feeling like I'm never quite where I want to be. It is annoying, but it's kind of annoying in a really good and much better way than the alternative, which is like having that low level anxiety every day, that low level driving to work Monday through Friday, going to the weekend, gonna go watch some Netflix, gonna go hang out at Mary and Bill's house at the barbecue, gonna go back to work again, then 2 weeks of vacation. All right, we're gonna go to the same cruise and we're gonna sit and get served drinks and sit on our fucking ass all day, blah, 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 get back to work, get depressed again. Like, I don't want that. And I keep coming back to the idea that I do feel that I'm biased, but I also I feel like I'm right. I feel like I'm seeing things clearly. I put a quote on Twitter and I asked people if the quote was either grossly overgeneralized or deadly accurate. And the quote is from Henry David Thoreau, and he says, "The masses of men and women lead lives of quiet desperation. What is confirmed desperation becomes resignation." So either that statement is a gross overgeneralization or a deadly accurate diagnosis of the common person in society. And the poll was taken, and most people said that it was deadly accurate. And I'm pretty sure it's deadly accurate too. Like, I do think that some people are content with the way that they live, but I think it's a much smaller percentage than the people who say that that's what they're doing. Because often the people who really feel content, like, they wouldn't feel the need to comment, right? If you don't think something applies to you, you usually don't get a reaction. So when people comment, opposing my idea, part of me thinks that it's coming from some subconscious place where they have to justify to me, some random person on the internet, that's how they really feel, Okay, I'm rambling a little bit, but just continue to date life. Continue to date your career. Matter of fact, go on take your partner on a date tonight. Watch this video, take your partner on an impromptu date tonight because I said so. Go this weekend, go travel, go do something crazy. Just get out of your shell, your bubble, your comfort zone, and continue to evolve throughout the rest of your life. Okay, You 2.0 is the book. You 2.0 is the book. If you look down in the link in the description below, you can find a pre-order link for my new book, Real Help, The Honest Guide to Self-Improvement. Comes out January 14th, 2020. But if you really are feeling so inclined, go look in the link in the description below and grab yourself a copy of the book right now, and then you'll have it in the very first day, and you'll be one of the first people to ever buy the book. So if you care about me at all and that makes you feel good that you'll be one of the first people to have the book, then go and buy the book. Okay, all other platforms, please like, comment, subscribe, do whatever the platform requires to share, love, and engage with me. Go watch some other videos on the channel. Get addicted to my face because it is begging for you to love it. All right, I'll see you on the next video.